It is unique in the way that we assemble, we finish, the amount of product we actually build. You look at any Princess, 80% approximately of what you see, we make here in Plymouth, crafted locally around the Plymouth area. Princess has been around since 1965. It's a great story. A couple of guys building one boat, and here we are today. Over 2,000 people building towards 300 boats a year. We've got 7 sites dotted around Plymouth, some very close, alongside the water, obviously, so we can launch, test and trial, others slightly further inland. I suppose geographically we're a long way away from any other manufacturing in the UK, so we've had to be reliant on building our own components, and that has developed over the years. But not only geographically, I mean, the basis of making our own components gives us ultimate control. So we've got control of quality and we've got control of time, and we can be very bespoke to a customer. The West Country, through the years, has a heritage of boat building. It's been a really strong industry in this part of the world, and that has obviously benefited us with skilled craftsmen falling into the business. You can feel the style, the luxurious finish that comes out of the quality and care that's used to assemble boats.
If you've bought a super yacht, you want to see the same effort and attention to detail underneath a trap, underneath a carpet, behind a wardrobe door. With Princess, it's what's underneath counts as much as what it does. Obviously, it's a fantastic brand, it's a fantastic product. It's a nice product to work with. You work with very expensive materials and some very, very skilled tradesmen. And with that, everybody wants to do, obviously, the very best they can.
The thing with Princess is, because you're dealing with the quality side of it all the time, it gets ingrained into you that everything has to look pristine, it has to be absolutely perfect for the customer. So we have to be conscious about it from as soon as the material comes in. If there's any imperfections, it gets rejected straight away. So it goes through quite a lengthy process before it's actually passed and ready to fit onto the boat. Being a welder, you can make something really, really strong, structurally strong, but it might not look that pretty. The thing is, the product we do, it's seen by the customer, so it does have to look really good. And after you've been there a while, you just do it without even thinking.
We've got a lot of technology. I've been in the business for 26 years, so I've seen it from the days where we used to hand cut our own wood to CNC machines, 5-axis machines. In the last few years, it's 3D printing, 3D modelling, resin infusion. Whilst that's all high technology, we still totally rely on our artisan skills with traditional tradesmen and shipwrights, carpenters and composite people that are able to still make things by hand, because the machines complement what we do with our own skills within boat building, and you couldn't really build boats like we do at Princess with just one of those disciplines by themselves.
I'm a bench joiner, so primarily we make all the timber elements within the craft itself. I tend to make a lot of the feature pieces of furniture, freestanding elements like dining tables, coffee tables, footstools, that kind of thing. But we go with the demand as to what's next on the build list, so you could find yourself making a double bunk or a galley unit. There are over 3,500 different jobs on the kit parts build list, and at any given time you could be asked to build any one of those. That flexibility amongst all the employees under the kit parts roof is probably its biggest asset, I think, and biggest skill.
Customers very often cannot believe the process. They don't expect to see a boat being built in a very organised and quite mechanised programme, really. If you look at our lines up to 70 feet, boats are built on a rolling line. Okay, they don't move like a car every 4 or 5 minutes, they maybe move every 10, 15 days. But it is a very structured, very organised process, which involves the assembly of components in a variety of different sites that we have, and then a final assembly of the boat online. They don't expect to see the level of care and handwork that goes into it. You know, the details of cutting a component that may be only, this sort of size, but the importance of that component being built just for that boat, going into the final build process. If you look at our furniture build, you'll see a lot of beautiful shapes all the way through. That's very much a feature of Princess design. You can look at some brands which are very straight, very angular. You can build very straight and very angular, but you're probably not very technically advanced in the process, so you have to build straight and angular. Whereas we want to put shape, we want to put design, we want to give it a really contemporary feel, but to do that, there needs to be a large investment in tooling to allow us to do it. And that's what we've done over the years. If you look at a new build, a new design, a new model we're going to launch, we'll have tooled it, so we will have built all our own plug work. And the company has 2 5-axis cutting machines, so we've cut our own hull plugs, we've cut our own deck plugs. So the initial stage of producing the basics is all done in-house. We've produced all the development work for wiring looms, all the CAD drawings, all the work instructions for every single part of the process in its assembly. We've produced all the quality documents to trace the build all the way through.
We make all the cables and wiring that goes into a boat. We configure that wiring with development, who basically give us the first draft, and then each build form that comes through, we then have to take the spec of the boat and configure all the wiring that is required so they will fit out to wire out the boat. The whole ethos is to try and make sure that anybody can look at any wire in a boat and know exactly where it's starting, where it's finishing and what it's powering. So that way you can maintain the consistent quality in the build strategy that we do.
If you look at our product, from day one to the day it's launched, every part of that build process is accountable and traceable. If you were to come back to us in 20 years' time and say, I have this boat which is 20 years old, the likelihood is we can find all that detail still. We have it on archive. So we put a huge amount of effort and detail into not only producing a fantastic boat, but making sure that we can support that boat into the future with maybe its second or its third owners through our distributor network. It's a unique company, a fantastic, high-quality, contemporary British brand that has a real depth of character. We have built in our 50 years over 16,000 boats. Height of style, height of luxury, distributed through all parts of the world. We've been in continuous production now for over 50 years, producing a beautiful boat, which will remain a beautiful boat for future years and for future owners. That's pretty unique.